Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners. Best Cord Cutting TV, Bufort's Tax Preparation, Bravos Restaurant Bar, Casa Santonieta en Guilapa, El Rey Bar and Grill PV, Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Monzon Brewing Company, Owners Reps Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, PV Dental Avant-Garde, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. It is Saturday. It is November 1st. It is such a pleasure to be here. I had 3 days of serious peopling with presentations and events and stuff like that. So I am so looking forward to a peaceful, relaxed, laid back weekend. And I hope you have one of those in store for yourselves. Of course, tomorrow is Day of the Dead. A lot of people are excited about the celebrations. We'll touch base on that in a little while. But first, let me welcome you to Coffee and Headlines. As usual, if you have an important comment, it helps a great deal for me to find it later on in the comment section if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. And then if you're watching live for the first time and you want to get a nice little welcome, all you have to do is add a capital letter N as in new at the beginning of your comment. Let's take a look at the news and see what's going on out there. And we start with good news. Puerto Vallarta has experienced significant growth in its air connectivity with the addition of 21 new international flights in recent months. 60% of these flights originate from the Canadian market, a key sector for our city. According to Miguel Andrés Hernández, Undersecretary of Tourism for Jalisco, this increase in air service will allow Puerto Vallarta to attract even more tourists, not only from Canada, but also from other international markets, including South America. Meanwhile, the United States Department of Transportation, yes, the friendly people upstairs, have revoked authorization for 13 routes operated by Mexican Airlines between Mexico and the United States, citing alleged violations of the 2015 Air Transport Agreement. The affected carriers include Aeroméxico, Volaris, and Viva Aerobus, which now face an immediate freeze on both passenger and cargo operations to the United States. The ruling also blocks any future expansion of routes of flight frequencies between Mexico and the United States cities. Nice and friendly and unilateral. What can I tell you? And tomorrow, as I mentioned a second ago, is the big day. Day of the Dead is finally here. Sayulita will have a Catrina procession from 6 to 7. San Pancho will feature a play at the local cemetery. Bucerias will hold an altar competition along with other activities. And here in Puerto Vallarta, there will be a traditional parade starting at 5 p.m. That's tomorrow at the Cinco de Diciembre Cemetery, and the parade heads down to the Malecón and ends at Los Muertos Pier. There will also be additional activities scheduled for Monday. And here's something that touched me a little bit. With a simple altar but full of symbolism and the faces of some 30 deceased journalists and reporters, the Puerto Vallarta Journalistic Network resumes a tradition that began more than 15 years ago in the press room of the City Hall to participate for the first time in the Day of the Dead altar exhibition in the exterior corridors. And I love the fact that they've included a big jug of beer, cigarettes, and an old typewriter in their altar. That seems very appropriate for journalists and news people alike. Now, this one is a double. It's good news and bad news. The bad news is that the Tepic-Compostela highway was not inaugurated on October 31st as planned. The governor of Nayarit, Miguel Angel Navarro, reported that the event was postponed due to mayor, she's not the mayor, the president was postponed due to President Claudia Sheinbaum's schedule. And of course, if you want to get to Tepic quickly, you have to continue to use the toll free highway until our president can visit and inaugurate. But the good news is that the inauguration will hopefully happen soon, and we'll be able to enjoy a much faster travel time to Nayarit's capital city. Now, I have one that requires some context, and I think this is important. Spain, the country, has finally acknowledged and expressed regret over the pain and injustice suffered by the indigenous people of Mexico during its conquest of the Americas, heralding a shift in tone after 6 years of diplomatic spats over the abuses of the colonial period. For the record and for context, yes, Mexico was conquered, and Mexico was subjected to all kinds of things by the Spanish conquerors. And in March of 2019, Mexico's then president Andrés Manuel López Obrador wrote to King Felipe VI and to Pope Francis, who was then the leader of the world's Roman Catholics, urging them to apologize for the massacres and oppressions of colonialism and the conquest. Of course, at that time, the letter drew an angry response from the Spanish government, which said that Spain's action in Mexico 500 years ago could not be judged in the light of contemporary considerations. So Spain essentially went, eh. But now they've changed the tune, which heralds much better relationships between our country and Spain, hopefully. It is worth mentioning, as an aside, that Germany has officially and extensively acknowledged the tragedies against Jewish people during Hitler's regime, most notably the Holocaust as early as 1952. So to see Spain make this acknowledgement by their Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it's a nice start. And with that, let us take a quick look at the weather and see what's going on out there. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I heard you like pumpkin, so I put some pumpkin spice creamer inside your pumpkin spice latte. Well, that's very thoughtful. Snarky weather person. It is 29 degrees out there right now. Humidity is at 73%. And our weather forecast for today says we're going to have clear skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 14%, a high of 32, and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Sunday, will be a humid day with clear skies, a high of 31 and a low of 22. No rain in sight. And Monday, we begin the work week with clear skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon. A chance of rain of 40%, a high of 32 and a low of 24. I must acknowledge that yesterday I went to an event in Emiliano Zapata that started at 5, ended at 7, and I was quite surprised to walk out of the venue and see that it had been raining. So it is still happening. And now, how about a Spanish word of the day? I think you're going to like today's Spanish word of the day. It's only 3 letters, but it is packed with fun and enthusiasm. Take a look. You can't think of a Spanish word with 2 personalities this different. And it's only 3 letters long. First, the calm one. Eso. That. We use it to point at things. At the store. At the market. Eso, por favor. Simple, polite, practical. But then we unleash the other one, the loud one, the joyful one, the crowd cheering, soul lifting one. Eso.
Your child takes their first steps? Eso. Your favorite drag queen slays the runway? Eso. Your hometown team scores? Eso. And when your favorite music storyteller sells out a Day of the Dead presentation? Oh, absolutely. Eso. For ultimate triumph, go big. Eso es todo. That's the one you use when nothing else compares. Here's a pro tip. Don't just say eso. Lean into it. Stretch that first vowel. Eso. Exactly like that. Celebrate, encourage, cheer, and now congratulate yourself. You just added one more authentic Spanish expression to your vocabulary. And for moments of pure joy, just smile and say, Eso.
I can think of other uses. Some are even naughty, but I'm sure your imagination will take you there without my assistance. Something else that we want to acknowledge today is World Vegan Day. Today is World Vegan Day. Who knew? The event was established in 1994 by Lewis Wallace, then chair of the Vegan Society in the United Kingdom, to, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the founding of the organization and the coining of the terms vegan and veganism. Eso. Now, for the record, I'm as non vegan as they get. Even so, I wanted to show support for our vegan cluster members with some useful information. So I started with a Google search for vegan restaurants in Puerto Vallarta. And I was quite surprised to find that there are now a bunch of great options. But how to determine which ones are really vegan and which ones are not? I asked myself. Well, I reached out to my dear friend Savannah Villaseñor Shaw, who followed her mother Candace's steps and became a vegan 10 years ago when she moved back to Puerto Vallarta. And she is also the administrator of Veggie Vallarta, a vegan and vegetarian public Facebook group with over 5,000 members. And in addition to that, she maintains a Google map with favorite regional restaurants. As you can see from the map, it includes things that are all the way up in San Pancho and beyond. So I will share these links with you in the show notes. I'm totally grateful to Savannah because we had a lovely conversation yesterday. Savannah helped me put together a list of places that she endorsed. I gave him a list of some of the places that caught my attention from the Google search. And she gave me a list that I will share in the show notes, but I'm going to read them right now, along with some other insights that she shared with me. She endorsed Elixir Sport in Emiliano Zapata, Green Place in Cinco de Diciembre, Planeta Vegetariano in El Centro, and of course, they have been in operation for 35 years and more shifting to truly vegan offerings. Then there's Corazón Saludable in Avenida Las Torres, Te Quiero Verde in Emiliano Zapata, 100% vegan taqueria. Can you imagine that? Vegan tacos, I have to go to that one. Cósmica Cocina in El Centro. And she also mentioned Ginger Veggie, which is a vegetarian shop, and they also offer comida del día, food of the day, in Cinco de Diciembre. And last but not least, Sin Karma in Díaz Ordaz. Now, all that said, she acknowledged that there are restaurants like Salud Superfood and Natureza in Versalles that are very, very healthy. But she was also quick to acknowledge that being vegan can be a gray area. And some vegans will not eat at places that also prepare animal meat or use dairy. So, in knowing that there are different levels of veganism and knowing the fact that we get so many foreign visitors here in Puerto Vallarta, I asked her, is there good alignment between international vegans and their expectations and against the offerings available in Puerto Vallarta? And Savannah was quick to acknowledge that Puerto Vallarta has become quite vegan friendly. And this is good news. I remember 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't find vegan places in town. But another thing that she mentioned that I think is worth mentioning here is that it helps a great deal to be internet savvy and to do your homework and to do your searches, um, rather than just walking down the street expecting to bump into a vegan restaurant as you explore Puerto Vallarta. So there you have it. That is my little foray into veganism. I am happy to send a shout out to all our vegan viewers and welcome your own recommendations if you want to add them to our chit chat section. And we'll take a look at that in a second. But first, what's coming up? Oh, of course, we have our violin concerto presentation coming up this Thursday. I know you haven't forgotten about it, but just in case you have, here.
The violin can sing, it can cry, it can soar higher than any other instrument. And when a composer gives it center stage, something extraordinary happens. The violin concerto isn't just music, it's drama, as gripping as opera, as passionate as any love story, a dialogue between one voice and an entire orchestra. On Thursday, November 6th, music storyteller Paco Ojeda invites you to Strings Attached, Essential Violin Concertos. From Vivaldi's fiery brilliance to Beethoven's nobility, Tchaikovsky's passion, and Barber's haunting beauty, this journey through 10 timeless masterpieces reveals why the violin concerto remains the ultimate showcase of virtuosity and emotion. 3 centuries of music, 10 unforgettable concertos, 1 unforgettable evening. Join us on Thursday, November 6th at 5 p.m. at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. Tickets are 300 pesos per person, available at the front desk.
Yes. Let's see what we have. Lots of good mornings. Oh my goodness, Pat Rees. Pat Rees, I remember you. I don't know where you are. You may still be ensconced in Marina Vallarta or you may be elsewhere, but it's good to see you floating in water in your little photograph. Nice to see you. Let's see. More hellos. More hellos. Oh, well, yeah. We're not going to get into the United States comments. But here's a question. Is the construction by the Malecón due to be completed by Christmas by McDonald's? Asks Laura. Oh, my queen of question. I seriously doubt it. I have not walked right past that location. Like when you go on the bus goes over the top side of Miguel Hidalgo. So I haven't been able to see what's going on at Malecón level. But I seriously doubt that it is going to be completed. And look at your reactions to the new word, eso. Yes, eso is wonderful. You know, if you have an itch in your back that you cannot reach, and somebody starts scratching you, and they start looking for the spot, and they finally find the spot, you go like, eso, 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 eso. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. And that's as snotty as I'm going to get today. So there. Laura also comments, my nephew is vegan and my brother is vegetarian. There's lots of choices in Puerto Vallarta. Thanks, Paco. Well, don't thank me. I am a big meat lover. I'm just happy to, serve the information on a tray for you to enjoy. And once again, I am so grateful to my dear friend, Savannah. Savannah is the daughter of Candace Shaw and is the niece of Cassandra Shaw. And we know those two Shaw sisters are huge ambassadors of community and goodwill here in Puerto Vallarta. All 3 of them are very special people to me. Savannah, muchas gracias for having a conversation with me about this yesterday. Let's see. Susan says, Buenos dias, Paco y Cluster, especially Mary. Feel like I know you. Eso. And I get good points from Christy. Thank you for the weekly word. Love it. And Logan, I am so happy you are here. Do you have any comment? Oh my goodness, look at all this information. Do you have any comment on the Malecon expansions at McDonald's? If you do, let me know. But Logan is mentioning Happy Cow, Puerto Vallarta. He's mentioning Canto, which is absolutely beautiful. I've been to Canto once, and I have been waiting for an excuse to go back. Canto is the new modern Cantonese bistro in Emiliano Zapata. And Betsy flows with the spirit and with a big eso. Way to go, Betsy. Way to go. Another great story. Thank you very much. This one from Peggy. Good morning, Paco. My daughter is vegan. It warms my heart as it is such a healthy diet. It's great to be able to go to restaurants as a vegan and find dishes that a vegan can have other than salad. Way to go. Oh, speak of the devil. That's my girl, says Mother Candace Shaw. You guys are so amazing, and you know I love the three of you like I love my luggage. I really do. A first time live. Mike is watching for the first time live. Everybody, please say hello to Mike Meehan. Welcome to the live experience. If you have any questions, Mike, this is the place. This is the time. And Pat, it's nice to hear an update from you. Living now in Cinco de Diciembre, which is a wonderful neighborhood. I hope you're happy there. When I am in between condos, I stay at the Hotel Rosita. Can't wait to see the new improvements. Well, that makes two of us, Deb. And parenthetically, after 23 years of living in Puerto Vallarta, I still have a bucket list of spending a weekend at Hotel Rosita for no other reason than the fact that it's been around for such a long time. I know these days I'm going to treat myself to a weekend staycation, and I will stay at the Rosita. Joey says, Logan Miller, we went to Canto for the first time this week. It was amazing. Let's go, Paco. Set a date, Joey. Joey and Isaac, let's set a date for that, and let's set a date for a spotlight interview. I want people to know your story. I want you to let me share it. Let's talk. And let's see what else. Muffin says, do I have any thoughts regarding the Malecon expansion in front of Parque Hidalgo? Do I ever? Ha! We can save that for Monday. Well, whenever you're ready, Muffin, we are ready too. And with that said, I'm ready to close the shop for now, at least until Monday. Well, I'm going to be busy with all kinds of things over the weekend. I always am. But I thank you for another week. This was a beautiful, beautiful week. What a great week to connect with people using our tradition of Day of the Dead as a vehicle. 64 people saw the presentations. I was so humbled. It was absolutely wonderful. It gave me enough energy and a good amount of income for the rest of the year. Eso. So have a great day. Have a great weekend. I hope I bump into you during the Halloween parade tomorrow. Halloween. Listen to me. Day of the Dead parade tomorrow. And if I don't, I will see you on Monday morning for more coffee, more headlines, and more stories. Stories that matter. Have a good day.